Welcome to Invincipod, probably the best podcast about Invincible on the internet. I'm James.
I'm Ralph.
And today we are joined by Lucha Johnny, who's
Lucha
here.
Johnny.
Normally we would do a drop out and drop in, but we're overdoing that. So
I'm
yeah,
like
Lucha Johnny's
lazy.
here, and he can introduce
It's
himself.
mostly lazy, and I feel like pressing the button can make something go wrong, and then also his name's in the show title, so you know he's here.
It's not a surprise.
Yeah, we're not surprising anybody. Yeah.
How you doing, Johnny?
I'm gonna get ready to...
Good.
Yes.
My stream break has ended. I haven't streamed since like October, so.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm very jealous of your stream like background screen that you've got up there now. I feel like I should have probably got one of those when I moved house.
Yeah, you don't want to see behind that.
Does it look anything like this?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, there you go. So when I jumped on the thing, I was like, oh shit, what's going on with my light? And then these guys pointed out that, yeah, it's because of the window back here that I'm all blown out. We don't normally have this much sun in England.
I don't
so it's
don't have this much fog.
Fair.
Got your
So
London
it's not normally a
fog.
problem. But I was going to go close the blinds, but I can't get there. There's just no chance of getting there.
Well, they're like always open.
Yeah, I leave that one
I
open.
just never noticed. That's funny.
Yeah, that's how dark it is in this country normally. How are you enjoying the season, Johnny, so far?
Great. I'm like Jeremy just said. It's hard to believe it's already over. That this was the end of this season.
Yeah,
Don't drop 3 at once.
Yeah.
Don't drop 3 at once and
Yeah.
let us enjoy it.
I mean, I was saying this to someone recently because they were talking about Andor coverage and they were going to be doing it weekly, and I was like, that's cool. Like, I think normally under normal circumstances we would have done the same thing. It's the only time, just because of everything that I've got going on in my life, and Ralph's busy as well. Like, it's the only time that I'm like, you know what, 4 mega episodes of the podcast will be fine. I think that's how we can cover that. But normally I'd be like, fuck it. Even if they're going to release 3 at a time, let's just release weekly because it's much nicer.
You know what? Jay from Geeked Out Life reached out to me and he's like, hey, I'm thinking of doing Andor with me and Matt. We did that. And I was like, yeah, sure. I'm like, what am I thinking? I don't want to talk about Andor. 3 episodes of Andor twice in a week. It's too much.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Just release them one at a time. It makes it easy on everybody.
Yeah.
But it will help you. I think it will help you out. Now, your thing did say, you changed it to say not really as pale. It did say by the next episode you will be a dad. Next episode of Invincipod.
Yeah.
Andor also?
Yeah, probably. I mean, if he comes on time, then yeah. If not, it'll be like week of, and I'll be doing this from a hospital while Liz is in labor next to me. Which I don't think anyone would appreciate.
Right.
Apart from maybe the audience. They might find it funny.
Mark Vibert sent an article that Kirkman said that like they're wrapping up season 4 and that season 4 of Invincible should be showing up around this time, if not earlier, next year.
That's so cool. All right, great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if not earlier, it makes me think maybe they do a January again, like they come back beginning of the new year.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
And he was hoping there would be another special somewhere.
I was gonna say, like, this episode when we get the Rex funeral and everything like that, and dealing with Rex makes me go, now's the time. Like, we can't go without Jason Mantzoukas. We need some more Rex. Like, I feel like it would be a really nice send off for that character to give him like the special to tell the rest of his story. We've had it hinted at, but to see the rest of it, we get some Eve in there as well. Like,
that's. I'm also wondering, like, as Rudy gets older,
I was just going to say,
is it going to transition into Mantzoukas' voice?
It's in my notes. I was like, it was at the thing when, because I'd forgotten. I don't know why I'd forgotten. Like in the moment that he takes the name Rex, and then I was like, oh, yeah, of course he does that. Like that's why I think probably Ralph, you and I both like almost forgot that Rex died because there is a character named Rex with the same body still around. He just grow up, essentially. And when they did that, I was like, oh shit, they can still get Manzuka. They can still absolutely have Manzuka like pop in and do that voice. As age him up there.
Yeah. I don't know if it's happened for everybody else, but you're fading out a little bit.
Yeah.
Me?
Your voice is, yeah.
Oh no.
It's weird. It's like not cutting out completely, but it sounds like you're like going underwater and getting farther away and then coming back in.
I will
Heard
move
everything
my
you said, but
I'll
it
I'll
was
move my mic closer, see if that does anything. It might just be that.
Yeah, it sounds better now.
Okay. I think maybe I just have my mic a bit far away. I'm out of practice, guys. I've been at work all day. I've just got home.
You just got in.
Literally
Jeremy
just
Kell said,
came running in.
So it sounds like they pushed back the Battle Beast comic until May.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Maybe
something we could cover in the meantime. Let's get into the episode.
Let's do it.
Let's get into the episode.
I mean, it starts with a bang, a literal shockwave.
Yeah.
And that first one, I was like, oof, that hit hard. And then it kept happening throughout the episode were these like impacts, and holy shit, like it was big.
It was big.
Yeah. You weren't feeling it?
No.
Interesting.
No. And I'll tell you why. I had an issue with Power Plex's fight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if I brought it up then. But it was the same thing with this fight with Conquest. Is we understand Conquest's motives.
Yeah.
And throughout this really long knockout, drag-out fight, which was fine, he kept saying the same things over and over again. Powerplex says, you don't deserve to live. Why do you get to live? Why, and he says the same thing over and over and over again. There's nothing in the fight that heightens his sort of anger. He's from the jump angry, and we know why, and he just keeps regurgitating the same thing. One note. Conquest, I feel, is the same way, and it drove me nuts that he kept saying the same thing over and over again. Is you're supposed to do this, but you're not, which is great because now I get to beat you up, and you're my plaything.
Hit me harder.
I got it in the first minute.
You've been holding back. Now, I see exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
And it wasn't until he got in close to Mark's ear where I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
That's the bit. Yeah.
But then it's like more of the same. And it's just like, in the comic, you have Kirkman, when it's these big fights, very minimal word balloons. Like there'll be the big one at the beginning. Then it'll just be a bunch of Otley art that's just like awesome, and you just blow through the book. It's one of those issues where, like with Conquest, you're just like blowing through because it's just like page after page after page.
Yeah. And
I don't think they could do that with the show, but they got to add something to it to.
For me, Jeremy Kelly mentions it as well. Here is the addition of his loneliness. I think I would completely agree with you if we didn't get that moment, because that moment was his vulnerability. And that was him coming in. He thought he had it won. He was never not confident. Even when he was a bloody mess, he was like, it's fine. I've still got this. I'm enjoying this. And
he had no skin, and he was like, I'm still good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Eve is a god now, and he's still like, I'm good. I'm fine. Whatever. And that moment of vulnerability that he shows to Mark, I think it made everything else around it better, because it sort of, everything else is an act. Everything else is his persona. He is a sad, lonely man who he knows that he is just a weapon. And yes, he does enjoy all of this. He does, like, this is what he lives for. And they just use him. They just use him and throw him at these planets to do this. And, he does get some enjoyment out of it, but that sucks for him to like not be really respected by his peers, to just be a tool for them.
He's essentially what would happen to Nolan if he didn't find Debbie.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
and it's kind of similar to Battle Beast as well. Like Battle Beast seems to have like pure enjoyment out of it. We don't know anything deeper there, but like he he is just there for the fight. He's just going from planet to planet, trying to find the biggest, baddest thing that he can punch, and then moving on. Whereas Conquest is here, he's clearly been through it a number of times by his scars in his hand and everything like that. But he's got, and yeah, the eye is missing. It's like everything, and then he's just sad and lonely.
To the point where he says and recognizes, he says, Conquest, I don't even get a real name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that was definitely one of those Kirkman commentary moments where he's like going back through and he's like, why did I call him Conquest? I gave everyone else a real name. Like I named everyone. I can do better than this. Why would he be called Conquest? Why would that be the name that he's given? Because that's all he does. He is a tool. Yeah.
One of the things though for me too was that like everybody remembers season 1, the train sequence where Nolan pushes Mark's face through the train, and it became a thing where it was in Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat 1. What do they call the new Mortal Kombat?
Whichever one. Yeah, the one with Nolan and Mark. Yeah.
And they put that sequence in there. And then this time they're like, oh, let's do the same thing but bigger. And it's like, I'm like, bigger doesn't make things cooler to me. I've said this before with like Mandalorian. I hate when things are cool.
Yeah.
I want
cool
substance to the cool things. It's cool, you know. And then with this, it's like between that sequence, the pushing the head through the thing, like through the people and stuff, I'm like, they're trying to do one up on that, but then the CGI city didn't make anything more epic for me. The going through it looked like MTV Liquid Television. There was something about it just didn't feel like the same show, and I know that people like apparently rip on the animation for the show because that article that Mark Bibbert sent me about when it's coming out, when season 4 is coming and the special and stuff. The first line of the article was like, people may not like the animation, but the story of Invincibles, and like,
and it seems to be something that
nuts.
Like, people mention all the time. I'm like, the animation's great. I love the animation in the show. I think
but here's
perfect.
Here's what I want to say to like Skybound and everybody in Kirkman's camp is like, listen, don't listen to people about the animation. Also, like, just doing like the CG city background stuff and tracking shots and all that stuff doesn't, to me, make it better. It just stands out as like, oh, look what they saved for the finale.
I was gonna say there was a couple of shots. There was a couple of shots like when, but I didn't even notice it really with the tracking shots and things. It was more like when Mark was on the ground and he was getting back up and he was in the foreground, and it was just like it felt definitely a bit crisper there. It felt different, and it felt like they were saving it for this.
They've done that stuff. They've done like the headbutting scene in this. They've done certain stuff where the animation looks, or the art style looks more stylized and different. Oliver flying with the like sort of forced perspective fisheye lens of his fist, like that's all cool stuff. But like when they're just like flying and like they're just going down the street and there's like real clean CG like geometric shaped buildings just like nondescript like going by and stuff, it takes me out of it. The Chicago fight works because there's Chicago iconography there. There's Sears or Willis Tower, and there's Navy Pier and all that stuff. It looks like Chicago. This just looked like we're in a CG sort of video gamey type of
Anytown, USA.
That's never existed in Invincible prior to this point. And so I was just like, don't stop trying to be cool. You're already cool.
We were watching it. Liz pointed out, she was like get away from the cities first and foremost. That was the first thing that Mark should have done because of the amount of damage. And I agreed, but then she was like, there doesn't seem to be that many people around though. And I was like, no, there's not. They all just died like the day before during the Invincible War. Like Mark was there to like scout out rebuilds and things like that. Like, so it's already a wreck. They're just destroying wrecked buildings. And there is something about that. There's something, I see what you're saying, Ralph, where it's like they're already decimated, to a point where it's almost like it's now just destruction for destruction's sake.
Yeah.
But
Also, as a book reader,
I thought it was awesome.
right. But as a book reader, like I'm also wondering how, with like the destruction, it seems like they destroyed this entire city, and that's bad.
Yeah.
Later on, there's another city that gets destroyed in the books, and that has a big impact on Mark. How is that going to be different than this?
That's my thought.
I was wondering about that because he just went through like the last episode or the episode before talking about like the fallout from the first fight with Nolan and then with what happened with Powerplex, and now he's like he just turns around and starts immediately trying to fight Conquest in the middle of the city, and it's like, did you learn your lesson?
Yeah, right. Like it's get out of town. Like as soon as they went into space, it was like, okay, cool, this is better. Fight up here, or even over the ocean or something like that. It was like this is much better. This is where you should be having this fight, Mark. This should be your priority. Is getting it away from civilians and from civilian populations and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, okay, have the fight, but have it somewhere safer for everyone else.
It's the whole Man of Steel argument.
I was wondering about the thing that we've alluded to with Vegas, especially with the end cap that we got on this episode, which isn't from the books. I was like, at first we saw some red legs, and I was like, oh, they're gonna tease it, and then it was like, oh, it's Damien Darkblood. That's different. I don't know what they're doing there.
Here, so again, in this article that Mark sent me, Robert Kirkman said he also would love to do like 11 seasons of the show.
Cool.
So now I'm like, okay, so who knows what comes next?
Yeah, I mean, also this could be a Dark Blood thing that's dropped here and then picked up in like one scene at the end of next season. Like, you never know with this, or it could be the main thrust of next season. Like it.
That's the thing.
You just have no idea with what he's going to do. It's so funny. It's such a close adaptation, 95% of the time, but then that 5% throws us all for a loop.
Well, the thing is that 5% makes me think like, is Oliver necessary for the rest of the story of Invincible as far as the books go? And so as he was being stretched by Conquest, I'm like, that was nice because I was like, I don't know where the show can go.
Yep.
So if Kirkman decides, do I really need Oliver for the rest of the series? Could I use this moment to really like instill something in the Mark or make it a crazy story point? I also thought the same thing with Eve, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way they're killing Eve. And I know I've seen Invincible comics where Mark is literally like an eyeball floating in space, and he is okay. He becomes they fix him.
They fix him. Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, can they do that with a non-Viltrumite? And I don't remember Eve's recovery from this. But it was one of those things where I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, I could see Oliver leaving for the rest of this story. I can't see Eve leaving for the rest of this story.
I can't see it for either of them. Just from where I know that it goes, like I don't.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel Oliver more than Eve. I think Eve's more important. But then I was like, I'm glad there's doubt. Otherwise, with Eve, I was like, she can't be dead. Like my brain was just like in denial, and I'm like, this is not going to happen.
Liz turned to me
but I was just like,
because of how happened with Rex last episode and everything. Like we sat there on the sofa, she's on the edge of her seat, like clutching the pregnant baby, like feeling it when Oliver's getting stretched. She's like, "Get out of there, kid! Get out of there! Go! Just fly away! Just leave! And then he's dead. Oh, he's dead. He's so dead. And then when Eve like gets stabbed through the gut as well, like she turns to me, she's like, that's Eve done, right? Like she's
that's the final blow.
That's the final blow. And I mean, it is. She
that's like a Viltrumite final blow.
Basically does die there. So yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. They've made deaths feel consequential and feel surprising when they do happen. And then, like, even to the point where they can come back, and it's still a surprise. I don't know. It's all over the place. I love it.
We got a couple of new new
Yeah, Pete, my friend
watchers
Pete's here. Hey
It's like
Pete,
next
nice to see you
season's
watching
big
live.
bad.
He normally,
It
I
feels
know he
like the
normally
next season's
listens.
big bad would be Conquest mid-season return. I don't know.
I don't think we've seen the end of Conquest. We know that he's in a box.
That's what I told Stevie. We're watching it, and Conquest is laying there with his face caved in. We've already seen someone with their face caved in earlier this season who survived, and this dude's a Viltrumite. And I told Stevie, I was like, Mark needs to throw him into the sun right now.
Absolutely.
I'm like, needs to throw him into. And then at the end of this episode, I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot.
I mentioned it a week or two ago that this is one of my favorite scenes or shots in the books, and it is when you see Conquest and his head, and you see that like Cecil's kept him, because you don't get. I don't think you get the from Cecil that we get in this. Which at that point I was like, oh, Cecil's keeping Conquest. Like no matter what, he's gonna fool Mark and he's gonna keep him. I was proud of Mark for the first thing that he says is, I want to see the body. I don't trust you. I want to see that body. But yeah, I agree with you. It's like, and then dispose of it yourself, Mark, because, like, you know what Cecil's like. So we'll see. And then there is a shot that is like the follow-on from that. It's also with Conquest's head poking out of that box. That is one of my other favorite shots of Invincible.
Right. Eric Gaston says that Cecil sucks. My man needs to quit doing dumb stuff. It is dumb until it works. Like the Rhiannon and D.A. Sinclair is dumb.
Rhiannon Invincibles.
But it helped.
That he's got Rhiannon marks. He's got Rhiannon Invincibles now. That I don't remember, and that is scary. Like, yeah, I get it. If I was him, I'd probably do the same thing. But fuck,
because he's lived through Nolan. He knows this stuff. Yeah. He needs fail-safe systems set in place. He thinks he's got Conquest. Like.
But did he not see? Like he should know that no matter what, whatever he's done isn't going to be any more than Mark just did to him. And if he survived that, he's going to survive whatever you've got trapped for him. Yeah.
According to Jeremy Kelly, that they were in the book.
Yeah.
The random marks.
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't surprise me. As we said last week, like we've read the books twice. I don't remember certain things.
Eric's really upset. Eric was talking about why does he think a bomb could destroy Conquest?
Yeah.
Listen, it's not a good thing. it's definitely not a good thing. It's Cecil. I mean, I don't know what he's. I don't know what he's hoping.
I love the character. I love the performance, but my God, yeah, it's like. You're right, he does just need to stop doing dumb stuff, because between the Rhiannon marks and Conquest, it's like, you've built an army of Viltrumites. That's the exact opposite of what you want.
Yeah. Peter said didn't notice they were invincible or animan, and I honestly didn't know either. I didn't notice as well.
Yeah, it's just the suits. You can see the suits.
Yeah,
I knew something was up when they said, well, and DA says the muscle was too dense, like they couldn't cut through it. And that's when Cecil was like, figure it out.
Yeah. But like really interesting though, we see DA and like DA's assistant. It's like they were gonna go and have some dinner and stuff like that. He's like, you've got the mad scientist and the mad scientist's mad assistant. It's like they both look like they're in rehab, essentially, like bad guy rehab. They're definitely both like drawn like they are former bad guys.
Stuck in Cecil's.
Like I kind of trust DA though to be like trying to do the right thing at this point. Whether or not it'll end up that way, I don't know. But I think he's trying. He's trying to.
Again, one of those characters that I don't remember the fate of from the book. So. Like, it's getting to the point where I'm just like, okay, now I'm just watching the show, waiting for, like, the big moments I remember. One of the things, so in this episode, we get another Mark and Eve sex scene. This one's gone farther than the other ones. I was really waiting.
I was too. The way it panned
really
down.
Waiting. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was expecting it. Instead, we get panned down to Eve,
shirt.
the pile of clothes, Mark's suit that she'd taken off of him and folded nicely. It's drippy. It is not right. So I don't know. Something to do with the rebuild of her powers and rebuild of her body has made her like come back not quite right. I don't think.
I was thinking about this with her and her spontaneous resurrection. And she said it happened once before. Did we see that in the Adam Eve special? I'm trying to remember. I meant to go back and watch it, but I didn't have time.
I think either we saw that or we saw her use her power to like a much stronger level than we've seen in the show so far.
Yeah.
Like, so she sort of tapped into it a lot more. Jeremy mentions that, we did see it before.
Okay. I'm wondering if each time that happens, it removes those blocks a little more. That gives her ability to access more of her power regularly.
Could be. But
Stevie
then, like, with that, there's like a level of control that she's sort of got to like almost like retrain a muscle after having an atrophy or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Stevie gets frustrated with Eve because her power set should allow her to do a lot more than what she does in the show. And I just rewatched this thing where they were talking about powers and stuff, and Kirkman was saying, like, unfortunately, Eve is only as strong as Kirkman's imagination can come up with. And, like, he's like, she should be able to do a lot more. It's just his imagination isn't as great.
I mean, I think it's a bit of that, and I think, like, just as Johnny said, like, the blocks are coming down. Like, I think the more she taps into that stuff, like, she's going to essentially level up. Like, even like we've seen Mark level up a lot this season. I think Eve is doing the same thing. I was listening to Ringiverse this morning, their coverage of the show, and they were sort of saying the same thing. It's like, Eve's like god tier. Like, why are we not getting Eve up there? I was like, just wait, it's coming. Like, we know that Eve is on that level with Mark, Nolan, all those guys, but like, it's coming.
Yeah, it was funny when she like popped up and started glowing and had like the rings rotating around. I'm like, oh, this is Eve's Dr. Manhattan moment.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like, she went from being a Green Lantern, making all these sort of like stuff around her, to Dr. Manhattan, or like someone on just a much higher level.
Yeah. Chad mentions, as someone who's never read the books, I could at least tell Conquest learned a lot from Mark, and where real strength is drawn from love, there's real potential for him to change. That's something. Listen, that's something. Was brought up in the show, not in the book. So as far as you not being a book reader and us being book readers, like, we're on the same page with this.
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't introduced into the books, and so I don't know where this is going to take. I don't see Conquest's head sticking out of that thing, waking up and being like,
"Hey guys,"
longing for someone who.
I just wanted a friend.
Unless he uses that as a way to get out. Unless he's like, I'm changed. I want to learn. I want to learn about Earth and love people. And we'll see.
Maybe. And we know that, like, Cecil's got a soft spot for like using former bad guys. So maybe I don't think he's that dumb. Despite all the dumb decisions he's made, I don't think he's that dumb to fall for that one. But maybe, Chad. I don't know if Chad's being serious there, or maybe I can see it.
I was fascinated by it.
I think that is
it was my favorite thing in the episode.
Me too. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was such a good moment. But I think that's a really nice sentiment, and we've said it all along. Like, so many of these villains don't need to fight; they just need good therapy. And Chad, if I feel like you're a nice person who's willing to listen to these people and to just talk to them, because that's probably all they need, is just a good sit down and a chat, maybe with a cup of chair.
Well, what's tough between us and Chad is we've hated Conquest for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Conquest is irredeemable for 20 years. And then yesterday we all found out that, there's something else. There's something deeper. So, I mean, he's only spent like 40 minutes hating Conquest. So, like, it's, who knows?
I mean, as another person who just met Conquest, I don't know. I mean, that dude seems proper cracked. I don't think that. I think there's a little too much emotional and mental damage there for a redemption run, but I could be wrong.
Chad says very similar there. It's like it almost makes him scary. His vulnerability and like being willing to like give that up. It's him giving up the vulnerability, but almost being like, look, I'm gonna give you this morsel, and it doesn't matter because you're gonna die anyway.
Yeah, because he followed it up with "take it to your grave." Like that's the only reason he told him, because he thought he was gonna kill him.
That is his deepest, darkest secret, and he's like, it doesn't matter if I tell you.
Which was so much cooler than any like building toppling. Like it was just one of those things that was just like, oh man, that's so good.
Mark's line though of like, I can see the future, you don't live. Like
again.
Like that's like he doesn't care. He's over it, and that ties into what he says with Oliver at the end, where it's like, you're right. Like in certain circumstances, it may come to that, and I will not hesitate anymore. Like like as soon as he said it, that sort of unlocked the memory of that moment in the book, and I'm like, this is going to go badly. This is going to change some things, and we've alluded to Dinosaurus so much, but that is it leans into that, because that is the whole situation that Mark gets into with Dinosaurus, is because he's making decisions on his own against Cecil, against all common logic. Mark's like, no, I am sticking with what I know. I'm the only person that I can trust making these big decisions, and I'll reap the consequences of it because I'm the strongest one. Like, I'll be the one to go against him if I need to, if something goes wrong. And lo and behold.
You brought up Dinosaurus, and I think last week we were fan casting Dinosaurus.
Yeah.
And something just popped in my head, like who should play Dinosaurus?
Oh, go on, hit me.
Sam Neill or Jeff Goldblum?
Oh my god, both of them. Either of them would be amazing.
But like, I mean, Kirkman would do that, right?
I think so. And I feel like Jeff Goldblum would do it as well. And I would like.
It would be so weird.
It would be so weird.
Though.
He'd have to go like full Goldblum with it, but I could see it for that character, because that character's a weird mad scientist. Like, that is what Dinosaurus is at his heart. He just happens to be a dinosaur. So
people are, holy shit, I've never had this much response.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Sam Neill would be great too. Like, which Sam Neill would you get? Would you like get grumpy Sam Neill, or would you get like life fun, or like just nice guy Sam Neill? I don't know.
But it's
I feel like Goldblum,
right?
would be more of the like silly stunt casting, which
like the
fits.
Fly.
Yeah. That would be brilliant. Everyone agrees with you. Make it happen. They said that they're finishing it up already, but like, if they haven't done the voice for it,
they could get him. Yeah, I'm excited to see Conquest. I'm excited to see what happens with Conquest. Jeremy Kelly did mention that they did bring it up in the show, so why not expound upon him, like, wanting love or understanding it, which was so funny. When he was in space, he spit out that drop of blood and formed it into a heart, like the human version of a
drawn
heart.
like love heart.
And then he crushes it, so it doesn't matter. Like,
it was such a like a flex of a look what I can do, but then it's also like I'm gonna rip out your heart, essentially, like, and both physically and metaphorically, and he damn well tries. I thought that was excellent. I really enjoyed Debbie being supportive of Oliver. Like, Oliver's like, that's not too far, I'm going, and like Debbie stopping him, and then just realizing that, like, I'm not gonna be able to stop this kid. Like, the best thing that I can do here is to give him some good motherly advice. She wants to stop him, but she knows that if she tries to, it doesn't matter. He's gonna go. He's gonna go no matter what. She'd rather send him off, like, with a packed lunch, essentially, like, as opposed to him skipping out and being hungry.
I do like that she stops him, pauses for a second to realize that, and then just gives advice on the
Keep
fight.
moving. Keep moving, stay away, don't get close. And if it gets bad, run. Yeah.
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 Which doesn't happen, and he gets caught and almost ripped in half. All that stuff I thought was really good. I guess it's just the punching and flying down the city streets was like, just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
the Oliver stuff,
there was a
stuff
lot
was
of it.
really
I think
good.
that's probably what was the problem for you, is that's just how much of it there was. It was unrelenting.
Yeah, the city, like you were saying, the city sequence with the conquest doing basically what Nolan did with the train. I was like, okay, that's grim and cool, and I see what they're doing. They're calling back, but I was more impressed by just his total lack of concern for anybody on the beach when he just slices all those people in half. I thought that was more.
It was the beach one
More effective of his showing ruthlessness than the city stuff was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's single-handedly caused more damage than 18 versions of Mark did. Like in one afternoon.
That just happened like earlier that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a thing in the Green Lantern movie that drives me nuts, and it happened in this episode. Is in the Green Lantern movie, Green Lantern is left by himself to fight Parallax. He defeats Parallax, and as he's falling towards the sun, 3 other members of the Green Lantern Corps save him from that thing. There's this big knockout, drag-out fight. Eve shows up like from her deathbed, like she's sick. She has a leg cast on, and she shows up and is there to help Mark. And literally, as soon as he's done headbutting Conquest, Cecil shows up with the fucking Guardians.
Everyone else gets there.
Have them saving people. Have them somewhere in the vicinity. Of course, none of them will be able to take on Conquest. Of course. But I feel like
they should be doing crowd control.
Presence.
We said this last week as well. They should all just be out there doing crowd control all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of drove me nuts. But I understand this is the finale. This is a big event. This is Mark's story. Ultimately, this is Mark's story. And Eve is a major part of that. So I understand why it's just these 3.
Yeah.
But any sort of cutaway to something else, some Shapesmith helping people, Shapesmith as a trampoline thing that people are landing off for
Tech Jacket and Brit. Tech
Jacket's just standing there. Stand far away from the fight and shoot your Tech Jacket lasers at the guy while Mark is fighting him. Anything. So that kind of bugged me, that they just literally, if Cecil just showed up, I would have been, okay, that's fine. But to see all of those superheroes come out of the little bleepers, the little
the only
you gotta be kidding
logic that I can think behind it is that Cecil had them all ready, and it's we're gonna let this go as far as we can with Mark, because sorry guys, but none of you can level up to him. So all we can do is if Mark falls, then you guys go in to just delay, because we're all fucked.
There was the moment where Mark was flying towards Eve and just yelling Cecil.
I love that moment. When he gets there with Eve and he just lets out ow. He's just like, Cecil, I need you. It's one of those moments. It's kind of that conversation that they had last week where it's don't like you, don't really trust you, but I know that push comes to shove, we are on the same side. We are both here for that. And it's if you need me to the point where it is life or death and vice versa, of course I'll be there. But
Cecil was pushing it. I know Cecil's watching. I know he can hear Mark, and he doesn't immediately send people to help Eve. He was able to help Oliver.
Yeah. The fact that he got in there, he's got a vested interest there, though. We know that he's got a vested interest.
Anakin Skywalker thing.
It's
episode 1 Anakin.
It's episode 3. It's the get into a transport when he's picking Anakin up off of the lava.
Oh, that too.
Yeah,
I meant that we're going to follow your career with great interest.
Yeah. That came earlier in the season, and then this was the episode 3 moment.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. But the fact that he was like there in the fight in the city, I was like, I mean, I wouldn't hang around. You can teleport in and out, like get in and out as quickly as possible.
Right. But drop off some guardians to help with some of these people that are
Do some of the
civilians.
crowds. Yeah.
Yeah, it really drove me nuts. It's not like I hate the show, and this isn't like a Star Wars situation where the finale of a season like bums me out. I'm not bummed out by this because everything in it was like well done, well executed. Didn't care for the CG, but it's still like the fight had a lot of weight to it. And there's some small character stuff that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed that we got again a season finale montage of all the other tabs that we still have open, like Sequids. And we didn't get to Nolan. And
yeah, I was surprised we didn't get any kind of update on Alan and Nolan at all.
Nope. We've not seen them for like half the season, but I think that just sort of shows how cool their story was at the beginning of the season. Like yes, I'm missing them, but I'm like, we'll get back there. We'll be fine.
Battle Beast. We got to return to Battle Beast.
It was Sequids, Battle Beast, Angstrom, Conquest, and then Oliver and Mark's conversation. Yeah, but yeah, the Battle Beast like thawed out. Love that he's just sort of like curled up into a ball, just sort of ready to be picked up.
Amongst shredded Viltrumite.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, very cool. Jeremy mentions the Damien Darkblood doesn't remember that at all. As far as I'm aware, that is new. That's new for the show. That's a new thread that they are pulling.
Who's the person who walks on Earth that he's talking about?
Yeah. Is it Mark? Is it Cecil? Because
I feel like he was talking about. I felt like he was talking about Conquest.
Maybe.
Wow.
I don't know, because like it was Cecil that in season 1 that he had a problem with. That Cecil he figured out Nolan's thing, and Cecil was like, sorry, you could banish you because you're a threat, you're a problem now. So I feel like it might be a Pete Phil Eve. So there's so many options
because Eve had become a whole new sort of entity.
So by doing that, I know I've mentioned Dinosaurus a lot. By doing that, and by the fact that we've had so much city destruction, we were saying, Ralph, I think you brought it up earlier on, where like, is that stuff with Dinosaurus going to carry as much weight, and does it make sense for that to impact Mark the way that it does in the books because of everything that we've seen? And I was like, are they switching out that story for something with Damien Darkblood? Are they going to make it a more occulty thing?
It's hard to say because again, 95% of the show is comic accurate.
Yeah, and then 5% is brand new.
Yeah, and so it's like I don't know, like why, like Dinosaurus is such a big deal. Why change that?
No idea. Oh,
whoa!
Am I back?
You're okay. You like blinked for it. Whoa!
I did. What is that? That's new.
What is that?
I don't know. Very weird.
Yeah. Sunspots coming through your window.
Sunspots. I'm in a different dimension or something. Like I've summoned Damien Darkblood. Who knows?
The show's a multiverse in of itself.
I mean, it is. We see Angstrom. Angstrom's still out there. Like Angstrom's rebuilt. He's got his scientist gremlins like working on him.
When Mark mentioned he could see the future, and I'm like, okay, Eve's not dead because we've seen Future Eve, and Future Eve says, "Tell her you love her."
That Eve. That doesn't need to be our Eve.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay, maybe this Eve is a different Eve, and I don't know. They talk about that Eve as a future Eve, but I always assumed it was our future, and she comes from the same future where Immortal is an asshole.
But those portals that Angstrom sends them through aren't fine. That's just different dimensions. Like it just happened to be one where it was further down the line. So it could be very, very similar, but I don't think it's 100% right.
Yeah.
We talked about, I think it was one of the previous episodes I was on with you guys. We were talking about, could the show be like, this is the comic, here's the show. It's like just one step removed from the comic, and they're going in parallel. It would be funny if at some point in the future we see the actual comic book Mark,
he goes
Oh,
through and there's
multi-different
it's
dimension.
science. It's a science dog poster instead of a seance dog.
Yeah.
Poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the only that is right there is the way that you do that. I think for me, is
And
that's
he
how
has
you
hip
show.
earrings and
Like the
Yeah.
slightly different costume on Eve, like the bit more like gratuitous costume on Eve, like that you get in the books.
here's a free idea for those guys, and it's going to be really easy. They did those Invincible motion comics.
Yeah, just put him in that.
Just slap those. In.
Have our Mark, like show Mark, be sent through a portal, and he's just in
A motion comic.
motion comic that isn't moving around much. Like have all the dialogue be the same. Like have like different. Yeah, have what's his name? Do all the voices and everything, but just be like, why aren't you moving? Have our Mark animated on a different like frame rate or something. Like, yeah, that'd be fun.
But don't show him flying with William.
No. The funeral was sweet. Obviously we got more of Ray in this season. We got a different Ray all the way through the show so far. So to have a moment with Ray at the back of the
It'll
funeral,
be good to see where that goes.
I hope that we do still follow that character. I think we will. I think they don't let that sort of stuff.
Maybe she falls in love with Conquest.
That's the love that she needs. Or like falls in love with a Rihanna Mark or something like that. Like, who knows?
Or what if she has feelings with Rudy?
Well, that's it. Like that could get weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Chad mentions the what if Ray's pregnant. Lol. I hate that trope of like characters had sex, now someone has to be pregnant. Like, don't say it. But like it's like
You have to think about it.
Yeah, you do have to think about it. But
Just saying.
just saying.
You want to know something? I'm going to
like-
tell you something really funny.
Okay.
So I do the artwork for the show, and I get it all set up. And I didn't have the square artwork set up for this episode because it was added on later.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and just grabbed some random artwork, like a template from my folders, and went to drop in the Conquest picture so that you can post it on Instagram. The picture that I used that was on that old artwork was a shot of Eve sitting in the bathroom from the comic.
I know the shot you mean.
Exactly. And it's really funny that you bring up stuff that,
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's too much further down the line. I think that we might get that next season.
Okay. Okay.
I hope so.
Because there are consequences.
There are big consequences.
If you do that thing, which was one of the things. Usually, it's just like rated TV 17 for violence and language. This time it said sex.
Yeah.
And Steve's like, ooh, sexual situations. And I'm like, anyway, things happen.
Things happen. I can attest to that. But yeah, stuff is going on, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I don't know. I don't know what Ralph. Without giving too much away, what big plot points do you think we'll get next season?
I think we can see if Paul Tompkins isn't going to come in and interrupt that situation, then there might be consequences to that situation.
That might lead to some more things.
No one has again. I just keep waiting for like the big moments. We keep mentioning dinosaurs. We keep mentioning Vegas. We'll see if that ends up happening with Kirkman. And Kirkman just saying he wants to do 11 seasons.
Yeah,
could be him giving misinformation to previews. Where like the comic covers have nothing to do with the book and the descriptions have nothing to do with what's in the book. By him saying I want to do 11 seasons, to us fans, we know that they're almost like pretty much halfway through this book, a little bit less than halfway through the book, and we're through
just
seasons.
Just under half.
Yeah, we're like in the 60s and there's 144 issues. So I'm like, okay, 11 seems like way too much.
But he's padding some stuff out. Like
maybe 4 more seasons will get us like comic book accurate to the end. But again, I think he's doing misdirection. I think he's just like, I'll say 11. And that way it'll keep the comic book readers on their toes.
Yeah.
And with having this Damien Darkblood thing, it's keeping us on our toes. So I don't know what I expect in it. What I do know that I want, again, we've been talking about Dinosaurus, want that. But what I really want, and I've said this before, and I think October will be a great time to get a bonus episode, a special.
Yeah.
I would love Wolfman. I would love a Wolfman special.
Wolfman
in
special, maybe a Wolfman arc next season.
I think it's too late to do a Rexplode. The Rexplode.
Do you think? Oh, I think it'd be
special.
nice. I think it'd be a
If
nice
he's sticking with
nice
the books. Yeah, if he's sticking with the books.
Yeah.
We did get that Rexplode special, so, and we already have the Eve special. So.
Yeah. I think it'd be a nice way of doing it. I think it'd be a nice time to do it, to get some more in there. They could have already done the voiceovers for it and everything, like when they were doing this, because they were like,
I'm up for it.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think that Sequids is a good one. Yeah. Like Angstrom's one of these guys who just like, he's an annoyance because he just keeps on coming back.
Yeah.
He's really hard to beat because he's not hard to beat when you get your hands on him, but it's just getting your hands on him. It's just he's just an irritant. So I'm sure he'll come back, and I hope that that's the last we see of him. There are more. Yeah, Mark in Space. There's more Viltrumites out there. There's more Viltrumites coming. I think Mark needs to go and visit the Coalition of Planets. That's what I'm shooting for next season.
Anissa,
yeah.
The Anissa stuff.
That stuff. It's dark. Really, really dark.
Bulletproof.
Oh, Bulletproof in a different costume.
Yes, in a different costume.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, I mean, that goes with Mark in Space.
Yeah, that goes with Mark in Space. So Mark goes to space, Bulletproof puts on a different costume. That all happens. That all happens soon, I think. Jeremy Kelly mentions that something comes immediately after, and that was relating to something that we were alluding to. So, I think that's all coming. It's all coming soon. So, yeah. Johnny. Without knowing the books, what are you hoping for?
I want to see like when we saw the hands start doing like the pentagram stuff for the summoning at the end. I was like, oh, Darkblood, because I like Damien Darkblood for some reason.
Yeah.
So I want to see where that goes. If we get follow-ups, like if those like stingers at the end with the Sequids and with Angstrom and with Conquest and with Darkblood, next season's going to be freaking wild. Yeah. But I also want to know, like, what the hell are Nolan and Alan doing? Like,
that's it.
Yeah.
Well, they got Battle Beast to deal with.
I almost thought
they got to pick him up.
Yeah, I almost thought that they were in that ship that was coming up to Battle Beast, and then it was just those aliens.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious why we haven't seen an update from them since they broke out of prison.
I mean, it's a long way back to whatever that planet is. I can never remember the planet that the coalition's on. But that going back there, I assume that's where they're going. When we were watching the fight last night, Liz was like, "Is his dad gonna show up and like save him? Is that how it's going?"
They were pretty good about. Yeah, there was a whole moment where it was a close up on Conquest, and he was talking. Oh, if I wish your dad could see this, and you're waiting for the camera to pull out to reveal Nolan, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, or like when he's like,
I like that as well.
I met your dad once, like he could have been great, sort of thing. Yeah.
That's the kind of trope that you would expect in any other comic book thing, and that's what Kirkman likes to play with. He likes to play with tropes and then like subvert your expectations. So you're waiting for Nolan to show up, and he doesn't, which is fine because everyone's okay for the most part. But it's just one of those things where you're just like, you'd expect it in any other season finale, and that's not what Invincible is. Invincible, I think, with the people who are watching the show see Powerplex is they show a burnt toddler on the screen, and it's really gross and heartbreaking. So you're like, okay, this show is not going to pull any punches, which is great setup for when Conquest is pulling Oliver.
Or like stabbing Eve through.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things where it's like it's the subverting of expectations, because you're like, there's no way he can kill off the main love interest of the show. Oh wait, it's Invincible. Of course they can do that. And then, oh wait, they didn't do the thing that we thought that they were going to do that we thought that they couldn't do.
That's what I'm saying is fucked up. Is like, as a reader, I'm like so like familiar with the characters and the storylines where I'm like, well, Eve's not going to die because I know that there's other stories involving Eve, but this show has that 5% that's, or the 5% that's new, and I'm like, maybe he's figured a way to do the show without Eve, and he's got me doubting, which is nuts. How they're able to pull that off is nuts. Like, even just like, so that's a finishing move. We've seen Nolan do it in the first episode to, I think he did it to does he do it to Immortal?
Maybe.
Anyway, so as soon as Conquest, like, he flattens his hand like flat towards Mark, you're like, oh, he's ready to start slicing heads.
We even saw it with the sadistic Mark who's just chopping heads as he walks down the line, sort of thing.
Yeah. So it's like, it gets you, it's like really good storytelling as far as like, okay, now the people who are watching this understand that a flat
hand on a Viltrumite
hand is like
the scariest thing you can see.
Powerful weapon. Yeah. And so I like that they played off of that stuff. I mean, listen, I like the episode. There's a lot of really good stuff in the episode. It just had, and for me, this is the first time where I'm complaining about the animation, really. And it's too much. It's like, I like the handmade feel of this, and I know the computer is also handmade, but there's something about it that just felt a little so separated from what we've been used to as far as
it's so funny that the episode that even the people that were complaining about the animation before, like, probably are more in favor of is the one that you're like, no, I like it the other way.
Yeah, I do, because it's basically
ever the contrarian Ralph.
It's like it's like a motion com, like the reason I like Invincible is because of Ryan Otley's work. I like what Cory Walker did, but Ryan Otley's work is like,
it's my favorite superhero comic stuff.
And the animation style in this and the character design and everything like that matches his style so perfectly. So I love seeing it. I love seeing it. I don't mind some of the dynamic shots. There's this one shot where it's just like Mark's legs in the foreground, like tracking. And I was like, it's just a really interesting shot. And it doesn't, like, I've found that more interesting than like flying through city blocks.
Tunnel. It felt a bit Matrix
Reloaded. It looked like Matrix Reloaded or Matrix Revolutions or Shazam or it looked like you've seen it in Man of Steel and stuff. And I'm like,
we get it.
Don't fall into the tropes. Just stick to your guns. Your artists are amazing. Skybound animation, you guys are doing a great job. Don't have to fuck with it because assholes on the internet are being assholes on the internet.
I've decided what I want as my post credits for next season. Like in their end of season montage of what we haven't got to and what we've still got open, and then like the one last thing. That's when I want Thrag. I want Thrag to be like, to have his voice. We will know who is voicing him, and then that sets up season 5 when Thrag can really come into it.
We were talking about who would voice Thrag on a recent episode, and I showed Stevie a picture of Thrag, and she was like, "Oh, spoilers, I guess," because he was wearing the cape.
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. That cape. That cape. Do you remember, like, way back in the season 1 teaser trailer, and then the beginning of season 1 when the bug, I can't remember their names. The bug that Mark's like Flaxens. And the Flaxen leader is wearing a cape, or a cloak, and it's very, very similar to a cloak that Thrag wears. And I was like, "Ooh, is there going to be something there? Are they going to like start teasing that in?" And then, who knows? With this show, they might still tie that.
You were mentioning last week you don't like capes.
I don't. Not normally.
What about Thrag's cape?
Thrag's cape's amazing. It's like, it's not even a cape. It's like, it's a pimp cloak. It's it's big, it's furry, it's like it's like it is for an emperor. It's that sort of
so cool.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cool.
I like it. It's good. It's good shit. I don't have anything else for this episode. If I don't know, it feels weird to wrap up because we're probably not going to record a podcast for a little while. But
Yeah, we'll be
yeah.
back. I'm thinking if there isn't a special that we'll do I still want to do like a Wolfman retrospective. You're going to be a busy guy.
I'm gonna be busy, but I'm probably gonna have a lot of time, like up at stupid o'clock in the morning or up at whatever. Like, I mean, I'm normally awake at stupid o'clock in the morning, but like up throughout the night, so I might need things to read. So yeah, I'll give Wolfman another read through. It's been a long time since I've done that. Don't know when that'll come, but we'll cover Wolfman. We'll cover the Wolfman comics at some point.
Or a Wolfman special, hopefully.
Or a Wolfman special, or a Rex special, or whatever. Like we'll check in. We'll do an Invincible check in at some point. If there's a panel at
show to do.
Comic-Con or something with some big news or some casting announcements or whatever, like it's the show that we'll definitely come back and do whenever we've got anything to talk about.
Should I reread the books?
I was thinking about it too.
I've reread like the first like.
I might like jump in at this point. Like I'll just like jump in like here
61.
where we are. Yeah, like jump in from like the end of the Invincible War. Like do a half read.
Yeah, I think I'll do that too.
All right, maybe we'll get that done.
Johnny, go read it. Go read Invincible.
Well, I started, but I stopped because I felt like it was
spoiling.
I do get that. I think at this point, if I was this far through the show and I hadn't, I'd be tempted to not and see and then like read up to where I get to in the show.
Yeah, I might do that now. I might go back and start to read up to where the show has stopped, but not further.
As Jeremy said, like let's do it. Like I think Jeremy's in for a reread again, like this quick. Yeah. Like love it. You love to see it. Jeremy's our man in the chair. I feel like with this show, like he's our he's our Invincipedia.
Yeah, because it's so fresh in his brain.
It's great.
See,
the downside, Ralph, is if we do a reread, we can't have any excuses about not remembering things like we do at the moment. I'm just going to claim his baby brain.
Yeah. My brain just sucks.
So yeah, I've got a kid due in like 3 weeks, so there probably won't be a live action Star Wars before then, but we'll be back with that show for Andor. Watch the socials, watch Blue Sky, and watch Instagram for announcements of when we're going to do that, because it will not be day of release. There's three episode blocks, so we're going to watch those 3 episodes, and then we'll do 1 episode of it. But yeah, it'll probably be a couple of days after the episodes drop when we've had a chance to watch them. We'll have 4 episodes for that. And then they've got the season 2 of Light and Magic, the ILM behind the scenes show that has been announced and it's got a release date of, I think it's like April 18th or something like that. We will not be covering that week to week, and as it comes out, we will cover that later on, probably in the summer. We'll do it in the summer sometime when we've got nothing else going on. I'll have plenty going on, but like when we don't have another podcast going on. But I've got to train the kid to podcast sometime, haven't I?
Johnny, want to do some plugs?
Yeah, sure. We haven't done much with Geek the F Out since Stranger Things ended. But I believe we're talking about Severance season 2 when it ends. So maybe next week we're working on when to do it. And then on Diced Thespians, we're going to start recording season 3 of The Sundered Veil sometime soon. So that'll be later. That'll start airing in a couple months, probably later in the summer.
Cool. Awesome. And then in the meantime, check out Top 10 Tacos.
Yeah, new episode of that just dropped this week.
Yeah, very much enjoyed it. I told Stevie, new Top 10 Tacos. She said, didn't you hear me? I already listened to it. And I'm like, oh.
I feel like Stevie might be our biggest fan. Pete in the comments as well. Pete's a big fan of Top 10 Tacos. So, it's always good.
I'm right here.
Ralph said too. Like, Ralph's great. Like, we love Ralph.
It's fast to Stevie on the listen, but I do listen day one. And then also Lanterns Live. Check that out. It's a Green Lantern show that I do semi-regularly. It's, issues come out once a month and there's 2 books, so I got 2 times a month. And then anytime like Green Lantern news drops, I'm like on it. So go check out that show. It's growing fairly well. I'm happy with how it's growing.
Exciting news for me as well is Liz has put a day in the calendar for me to spend clearing up this room. So so I said to her, because I bought some more Star Wars cards, and she's like, I feel like for every pack you open, you need to sort one box in the spare room. And I was like, fine, deal. Just give me the time and space to like do it.
Gimme.
I mean,
you get your red scarf?
I haven't yet, no. But it's probably downstairs. I need to open some boxes.
The Rock Band.
Yeah. What the fuck? Like, I don't want this in my house.
Oh, there's an ad-out back there. I didn't realize there's an ad-out back there the whole time.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's an old Kenner one. That's going to be getting donated to a game shop, because years ago I started converting it into a piece of scenery and then never finished it. So it's gonna be getting donated to my local game shop for them to use.
For cards? Do you trade?
Maybe. They're good to me anyway, so maybe.
Okay.
And it'll get put to good use, and I'll probably see it like every week when I'm in there. But yeah, I'll be unpacking this box, this room, and sorting out. So maybe next time we record a podcast, it won't look like this. Hopefully, I can at least get it down like out of frame. That's my goal. Yeah,
and you know, before that, congrats.
Thank you very much. What, in the room or like?
No, well, you said what, 3 weeks?
Yeah, about that. Due on the 2nd of April. My birthday's on the 7th, so I think he's probably just going to be a week late and steal my birthday. That's exactly what I'm predicting. So, you know, no more birthdays for James, just birthdays for little Taco.
Nacho Calrissian.
That's it, Nacho Calrissian. Yep. Yeah. So that is all the exciting stuff that we've got coming up. But thank you everyone for joining us on Invincipod. This is our flagship show, believe it or not. It's the one that we, I think, have the most fun doing all the time. So it's always nice with people in the chat, and join us on the show as well, Johnny. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. It just so happened that I had requested this day off of work. Perfect. And then realized that it was the day after the finale, and I was like, oh, I'm free.
Absolutely. We will never give up on you, Invincible Fridays. No matter what day the show releases, I think we'll stick to Invincible Fridays, because we're stubborn. Yeah, so everybody, thank you once again for joining us. We will see you next time on another episode of...